some very clever tools.
Everybody said, this was the program to go to.
I wanted to just learn more about museum studies and what museums had to offer.
I'm ultimately interested in collections management and conservation.
I think the program's helping me gain a greater perspective of how museums work and all of the opportunities that are available to me.
The Tufts Museum Studies program is divided into 4 different components. We have the certificate program, and then we have 3 graduate programs in museum education, art history and museum studies, and in history and museum studies.
It's such a contrast to nursing school. I've always had this love of history and art, and I love learning in museums, so it all just kind of fits together.
I think that having museum professionals teaching these courses is incredibly valuable.
I was actually a student in the Museum Studies program about 15 years ago, and about 7 years ago I started working for Tufts. I'm part of the faculty.
Having professors that are professionals in the museum field enriches class.
I'm currently at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, and I'm the Director of Visitor Learning there, so I oversee all of the education for the general public that comes in.
The Gardner, for us, we've decided this is a particular way of teaching, this is what we're going to do.
I really like the mix of where faculty are coming from and the breadth of the faculty in terms of we have folks that work in science institutions, art institutions, and history.
So the site, you don't need this much height for your postcard.
I started working in the museum field 1987 and have had many wonderful opportunities working at the Smithsonian, Museum of Fine Arts Boston, now at the Rhode Island School of Design, Museum of Art.
I worked for the U.S. Senate's collection for a little bit at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, and then I spent almost 10 years working for the Bostonian Society, which is Boston's City Historical Society. I teach the material culture course. It's an interdisciplinary field, and it looks at objects. It's very central to the work that museums do, to be able to understand their collections.
I don't know if everybody's ever been to the Holocaust Museum, but they have those cards, the ID cards.
The things that we talk about in class are really having a solid foundation in learning theory and developmental theory.
Students who come to collections care and preservation not only get a general idea about preservation of works of art, they actually have very specific hands-on skills.
I think it's been really great, and just to really give you a picture of what you could eventually do in this field.
It's awesome. So getting to do hands-on stuff, and then all the guest speakers that we've had has been really nice.
In my museum education and interpretation class, we had a guest speaker, and I went and met with her and her assistant director, and they offered to let me come do an internship.
All students in the program, whether they're certificate students or master's students, are required to do a 200-hour internship in a museum.
Practically speaking, you have to learn it on the job.
You hear about jobs that are opening at various museums, and Tufts alumni are pretty heavily networked within the New England region. If you want to work in museums in New England, Tufts is really New England's regional powerhouse.